What's poppin', y'all? Back like we never left BDA, and today I'm getting into the Vivre Cards finally, volume 3. So I've done these twice before, but they were streams. I plan on doing a stream around it, but I wanted to do a video just talking about it and going through because I haven't read it. I haven't even read it yet. I've heard about it. I've heard about a few of the things, but I wanted to definitely get into it and make a video about it. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. If you guys want to check it out yourselves, you can go to libraryofahara.com. My boy Arthur, he translated everything and just put everything on his website. And as usual, just really diligent and just put everything together that's easily digestible. So if you want to get some more information about that and you want to go look at it yourself, the libraryofahara.com, that's where I will be viewing them at. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so we have volume 3, the Vivre Card data book. And Arthur said with the second set of booster packs out, let's take a look at all the new information. So they have the ages here. All right, they have Sentomaru, Hannibal, Magellan, Saldeth, Sadie, Mizuma, Ivankov, Shillew, San Juan, Vasco, Shot, Katarina Devon, Pizarro, Gaimon, Yosaku, and Johnny. So Sentomaru, that's around the age of Smoker. Hannibal as well. Magellan, 47, it's around like Capone. Saldeth, really young. Sadie's really young. Inazuma, 29. Ivankov, 58. So Ivankov is really old. So Ivankov is around the age of the admirals, pretty much. So Ivankov has been around for a while. Shillew being 44, that's around Shanks' generation, around there. So him being, I think, around Mihawk as well. So that makes a lot of sense. San Juan says 99 giant years. So San Juan, we're not sure exactly what the hell he is, but he's pretty old. If it's giant years, then he's pretty young, 99. The giants can live up to like over 300 years old. Vasco Shot being 38, 36 pre-time skip. So the Blackbeard pirates, they're all they're in their prime, pretty much. They're in their pirate prime. Because, you know, for pirates, like Shanks, Doflamingo, those guys, they're around 40. I think that's your prime, like when you're at your peak. That's when I view pirates at their peak. Of course, you have people that you can be as strong as shit into your 50s, but I think that's when you're at your peak form, in your 40s, like 30, late 30s or 40. That's how I view it. But of course, you can be strong as shit into your 50s. Dragon be 55 is the same age as Akainu, right? Around the age of Akainu. Yo, it's a connection there. I believe it's a connection between Dragon and Akainu. Again, you guys have probably heard this time and time again, how mad Akainu got when he found out Luffy was the son of Dragon. He stopped calling, I don't think you've ever called him, he's ever called him Luffy, probably Straw Hat, but son of Dragon. Like, he just wanted to go after Luffy. You guys remember when Ace died, he jumped over Ace to get to Luffy. He wanted to kill Luffy more than he wanted to kill Ace. Of course, he wanted to see Ace suffer by killing Luffy in front of him, so that's part of it. But he wanted to kill Luffy more than he wanted to kill Ace, and Ace was the Pirate King's son. So there's some connection there between Dragon and Akainu. Of course, it goes back to thinking that Dragon was a part of the world government at one time, which I probably agree with. But for right now, we have to wait and see exactly what the connection is between Dragon and Akainu. Again, they have the heights of the characters in One Piece. This is always astounding. Okay, so Magellan is tall as shit. We know the admirals are tall as hell. And Magellan, he trumps them by a lot. Look at Avalo. I did not realize Avalo Pizarro was that tall. Taller than Magellan, taller than Ivankov. Like, Smoker's regular height. Smoker, look at Smoker. The size of Smoker, that's regular height. Dragon is pretty tall as well. That's pretty tall. Dragon is pretty tall. I never really thought about, but Dragon is pretty tall. I think Garp should be around that tall, if not taller. And Luffy being that short is like, I guess, you know, goes back to his mom. I don't think he's gonna grow that much taller because it's a symbolic thing where Oda wants to have Luffy being shorter than his enemies, blah 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 blah. Katarina Devon, she's tall. She's tall. She is really tall. So yeah, the height thing, that's always interesting to see. The bounties, all the Blackbeard pirates have confirmed to have bounties. I would assume so. They said they were big shots or pretty strong people back in the day before they got imprisoned and impaled down. Of course, Dragon does have a bounty. The 2 new bounties that were revealed, Chu and Kurobi. Both Usopp and Sanji took down bounties that high that early on. Birthdays, I really don't care about birthdays that much, unless it's someone around my birthday. Bachi's close to my birthday. That's kind of weird. Bachi and Imagined Bodyguards. But birthdays, I really don't care about them that much unless it's close to mine. So you guys can go check it out if you want to. Oceans of Origin. This is always interesting because a lot of theories can tie into this and the motivations behind different things. So I like knowing about the Oceans of Origin. So you find out that Akainu, Kizaru, and Avalo Pizarro, they're from North Blue, East Blue. Johnny Osaku, Gaimon, Mizumi, Bellamere, all those Genzo. Just like Kuina Tashigi's from East Blue. So most of Kid's crew is from the same place he's from, which means they could be childhood friends. Katarina Devon, Avalo Pizarro. They're from South Blue. Grand Line, Magellan, Shiryu, Sentomaru. I know Sentomaru, the theory that's flown around recently is that Sentomaru is the son of Shutemaru. I'm not sure. Possibly that could tie Kizaru into Wano, because a lot of Kizaru's attacks are popular like artifacts of ancient Japanese lore. So Kizaru being connected to Wano would be interesting. That could speak into why he was so quick to jump to go to Wano. I would actually like that a lot if he was tied to Wano. I can't even think about that. Favorite foods, another thing I don't really care that much about. If you guys want to get more into it, you can see. So with Kizaru is like ginger and bananas. Shillew is steak. Favorite food kind of tells you a bit more about these people's personalities a little bit. Like Magellan is poison soup, you know about that. Katarina Devon, Borla sesame. Avalo shark fin soup. Okay, Akainu is white rice and red peppers. That kind of seems legit. Ivankov was horomonyaki. I don't know, that's some Japanese shit. Inazuma is garlic shrimp seti, the screams of agony of our prisoners. Whatever, dude. Whatever. If that's what you're into, that is what it is. I don't really care that much. Johnny potatoes and Zumi cheese. Of course it'd be cheese. Tashigi's hot coffee. Dragon is bocadito. Not sure what that is. And of course, Bellamere and Nojiko would be Mikan tangerines, right? This is where we get a lot of the meat of it with additional information. For Sakazuki, this includes extra information about the characters, including the description, some of which is somewhat new or confirms general beliefs. Dope. This is what I was waiting for. Okay, Sakazuki. His devil fruit boasts the highest offensive power among devil fruits. It doesn't specify if it's the strongest or if there are others as strong as it. It just says that it's on the highest tier, as its ability to wield magma allows it to melt through many things. Okay, we kind of figured this, that Akainu's devil fruit was on the top tier of devil fruits. This is saying it boasts the highest offensive power amongst devil fruits. So when you say that highest offensive power, I'm thinking about it not being the physically strongest, but based on what it can do and how it can overwhelm your opponent, it's pretty deadly. Again, when you're fighting Akainu, you're fighting in a volcano, so you have to deal with the elements and deal with someone like Akainu who's pretty strong himself. So the highest offensive capability, when you think about Whitebeard's fruit and Enel, Kizaru, can they compare to Akainu's fruit? I think Whitebeard's can, and Enel's fruit is someone I would always choose Enel's fruit. But when you think about it, when he can alter the area around him and you're fighting in the midst of that, that's just so crazy. I know a lot of people, when you think about fights, you don't think about what you're fighting around. People don't really think about that a lot. So for me, that matters a lot. So Sakazuki, yeah, that's kind of big time to me. That's a big deal. So because of it, it's able to tear through bodies with ease, penetrating Ace and Jinbei's bodies without trouble. Why you gotta bring that up? Why we gotta bring Ace up? Let Ace be him. Let him rest in peace, please. It also boasts some incredible maneuverability, as it not only allows to melt any obstacles in his path, but it also lets Sakazuki fly for a few seconds through a jet burst of magma. So with Akainu, he can fly basically just erupting, using his devil fruit to erupt really quickly, and it's like a quick boost. So he can, I guess, glide. Flying is a bit excessive, but glide for a bit. Through a burst. Sakazuki is willing to kill any allies or civilians if they refuse to follow his view of justice. This has led many among the Marines to be dissatisfied with his actions, but most follow his orders out of fear. So Sakazuki would rule a pirate crew just like Big Mom, out of fear. And the thing is, you want somebody to like work with you because they want to, not because they fear you, because they're going to be so scared. Like we saw with Big Mom, how they crumble because of fear. And Akainu, he's the same way. But saying that a lot of led many amongst the Marines to be dissatisfied. This is information we did not know before. Of course, you would think so, but this is confirming like a lot of Marines are like, yo, we don't really rock with Akainu like that. Not sure what this may lead to. I don't think a coup d'etat, but it could be interesting to the plot going forward. He has armor and observation hockey. If he has conquerors or not, it is not specified. So of course we assumed armament, observation hockey, but people talk about like, how did he get snuck by Whitebeard? I mean, observation hockey is fluid. It works when it works. Conqueror's hockey, that's a big thing that's always discussed when Marines have Conqueror's hockey. I don't think just allegiance would mean you being on the Marine side is a reason for them not to have Conqueror's hockey. Doesn't make sense to me. So I believe Marines are going to have Conqueror's hockey. Oda's just waiting for a perfect moment to reveal it, right? Because I think they're going to have the highest tier of Conqueror's hockey, and then Oda's going to have to explain it. So you can't reveal it yet. If you reveal Akainu's Conqueror's hockey, it's kind of like if it's just what Luffy's is, then you really can't delve deeper into it. I think Oda is maybe he's still trying to figure it out. He's still trying to figure out exactly the route he wants to go, because we saw how Conqueror's hockey is kind of building towards fortitude and determination. So we'll see where it goes, but I believe Marines have conquered Haki. Sakazuki and Borsalino go way back, having joined the Marines together 32 years ago. This is already revealed in the Z film volume, but I thought it was worth mentioning again. Yes, we saw it in Z. And the thing is, Z is probably one of the best films just because a lot of things mentioned in Z is canon material in a non-canon movie, right? So as far as like, I believe Aokiji's leg was revealed in Z. For the shit, Z himself, the information around it, the Shichibukai stuff. So Film Z is one of those films that you can go back and watch, and it boasts it has a lot of canon things in it. Of course, Strong World as well, just Shiki being a part of it. It's weird with the movies because a lot of canon things happen in them, but it's not a canon movie. Like Luffy is not beating Shiki. It's just not even now, I don't think. So it's a weird thing, but I like movies like that in which they incorporate canon things into non-canon films. It'd be great if the movie was canon itself. It's kind of sensationalized, right? Because it's a movie. You have to hype it up a little bit. You can't, and then you don't want to take away from the actual plot. Basically, if you reveal major shit in a movie that could affect the plot in a major way, it kind of takes away from the actual storyline. So I get it. So I like how One Piece typically does it. Next, let's move on to Borsalino. Said he's not much of a leader, so he prefers to follow orders and do things at his own pace. We figured that much about Kizaru, in which he would like to he has a desk job. If you need him, he can do it, but he doesn't want to be the leader because the leader, you have to inspire, you have to always be at the front lines. Borsalino doesn't seem like the type, so it just makes sense. His unclear justice is purposefully unspecified so that he doesn't have to care much about what he does. While his dove fruit is about speed, he's rather slow when it comes to speaking or taking action. He can be so quick that only those who are very good with observation haki are capable of spotting him. This goes back to something I always talk about with Kizaru as far as like, does his devil fruit affect his speech and how he is, right? But the thing, what's weird here, it says that he's rather slow when it comes to speaking or taking action. But we saw at the Reverie, he was willing to take action immediately to go to Wano. So again, this kind of builds up the idea that Kizaru could be in some way tied to Wano, right? In which he has affiliations with Wano. That would be really dope if he did, because he's really adept with the sword fighting, really. Like, he pulled out his sword and fighting really like it was nothing. So he definitely has had sword training. If it is from Wano, that would be insane. As far as him being so quick, we kind of assume having observation haki is a way for you to combat Kizaru. We saw what happened with Rayleigh. You need great observation to kind of overcome him. It makes sense. He's a light user, so that makes a lot of sense. Observation armament haki user. Of course, Congress haki is not confirmed yet. Oda is saving this moment for something. It's going to be an epic moment when Oda reveals that Marines do indeed have Conqueror's haki. Moving on to Dragon. It says, originally Dragon was a citizen of the Zagoa Kingdom. His status isn't specified. At a certain point in his life, Dragon realized how rotten the world truly was and became convinced that it was his duty to change the world for the better. Because of that, he founded the Revolutionary Army. So again, for me with Dragon, I always feel like Garp had a role to play here. Where what was the moment in which Dragon realized the world was scum, where he realized that shit went down. I think Dragon found out some things and approached Garp about it. Garp confirmed that he knew about it, and that kind of drove Dragon to the place where he's like, he has to change the world. There's something major that he saw, and he didn't blind himself like Fujitora. He did something in a way that he was trying to change the world. So with Dragon, you always have to commend him for something like that, because he took steps. Even though he became the world's most wanted man, he took steps to change it, right? Of course, people take steps to change it in their way. Dragon went the route of creating an entire army to oppose the world government. Of course, Garp could be changing it in his own way, but you have to respect what Dragon did after seeing it. Even Garp and how some of his affiliations you question, because Garp, you assume he knows the Void Century, knows everything the world government is up to. Of course, he confirms that, in which he talks about it at the Reverie, where he knows, he shares some of the same ideals as Dragon as far as Celestial Dragons being scum, but he's still being lauded and works for the world government. So it's weird. Hopefully we get some more about that in the future. The Revolutionary Army was founded sometime between 24 to 19 years ago, between Roger's death and Luffy's birth. He values sincerity and discipline among his men above all else. So 19 years ago, that could indicate that Luffy's birth meant a new way. He wanted to create a better world for his son. I mean, he seemingly doesn't care about Luffy's. That could be weird. Or Luffy's mom could play a role in his decision as well. Valuing sincerity, discipline among his men above all else reminds me of Smoker, because that's how Smoker goes about things as well. Smoker values sincerity, discipline, and he empowers his people. And Dragon obviously does the same thing, in which people around him, he gives them the power and the leeway to go and do things. Sabo showed up at Dressrosa when that was probably not in his best interest because of his status and his acclaim. but Dragon said, hey, go do your thing, you know? So Dragon leading like that is how you probably should want to lead, because if you give people the leeway to do things like that, they want to do things for you to kind of justify you giving them that rope. So Dragon, Dragon was always viewed in my eyes as a good leader, and this kind of confirms it for me. His main objective is peace, with victories in war being nothing more than a means to achieve that, not something to enjoy. This is war, right? In war, you do a lot of bad things for the outcome. You care about the outcome, and you're not doing it because of you enjoy it. Of course, there's a lot of people, a lot of anime characters that we've seen, they just enjoy war. Be specifically like Kaido. Kaido seems to want a war for his enjoyment. He's bored, right? So for Dragon, the war is not something he would choose, but something rather he has to do, which speaks well to Dragon's character. It says his card mildly hints at a possible secret about his past. However, it says that even if his subordinates learned the truth, they'd still follow him without a doubt. I think this absolutely confirms to me that Dragon was with the world government in some way. Because if your subordinates find out that you were actually a Marine, or you were raised as a Celestial Dragon, right? Some way you were affiliated with the Celestial Dragons or with the Marines. Because I'm thinking it's either CP0 or you were an actual Marine. That's my thing. Why would you question Dragon after seeing his resolve for all these years after starting the Revolutionary Army? So this is amazing, and I think it confirms it there. For me, the name of the ship, the main ship of the Revolutionary Army, is called the Viento Granma. Viento is the Cuban word for wind, while the Granma is a ship that Fidel Castro used to start the Cuban Revolution. Similarly, his favorite food is bocadito, a Cuban snack. So for Dragon, hopefully it doesn't turn out like Fidel Castro. If you guys are going to read about Fidel Castro and some of the things that he's done, it's kind of weird. But starting a revolution and it being wind, it's a lot of subtle things in here just confirming what we already knew, where we figured that Dragon had a wind fruit. This is great information just confirming, again, things that we already knew. Let's move on to Blackbeard and his crew. So the name of the main ship of the crew is the Saber of Sebek. Sebek is a type of ship, which Saber likely refers to the type of blade. This pack reminds us of his commanders, the 10 Titanic captains, which we already learned of back in Dressrosa. Shillew quickly rose through the ranks, and when Blackbeard became Yonko, he was considered trustworthy enough to be assigned as a captain of Teach's second fleet. Even if many considered them equal, Shillew definitely feared Magellan. His blade is a Meito called Ryu, thunderstorm. Okay, even if many considered them equal, Shillew definitely feared Magellan. How can you not fear Magellan, where he's so destructive and so powerful that you have to find different ways to defeat him? Because of course Venom Demon is eating right through you. Getting poisoned with his regular poison means the end for you. So Shillew fearing Magellan is not a bad thing, but I think this speaks to Magellan and how much he's been downplayed. Because when you talk about Magellan, a lot of times people don't think Magellan is that strong. We started in the top 30 list, people felt like Magellan was I think Magellan, in some people's list, was like 25, 30. It's weird, but Magellan deserves respect, because you can't put Magellan all the way down at 25, 26 and have Shillew all the way up at like 7, 11, or 13. They're considered equals, but he feared Magellan. But fear does not equal, you can fear someone and still be stronger. You're just scared of them, but for different reasons. Avila Pizarro, he's the captain of the 4th ship, leading Teach's 4th fleet. He was originally the king of a country in the North Blue. However, his ruling methods were so corrupt and twisted that he was overthrown by his people. He's actually incredibly tall, pretty much being Katakuri's size. So he was the king of a country in the North Blue. So immediately when I hear this, he was a ruler in the North Blue, and his methods were so corrupt and twisted that he was overthrown by his people. I think about Kuma. And I'm like, was Kuma one of the people, was the person that replaced Avila Pizarro? And I'm saying this because Kuma, we know he ruled the Sorbet Kingdom. And the Sorbet Kingdom I don't think it's been specified exactly where it is, but I believe it's somewhere cold. So it could be North or South Blue. So I'm thinking if it's North Blue, Avila Pizarro could indeed be the person that was overthrown because everything was just ridiculously, this bad, right? And Kuma could have been the king that stepped in, saved Bonnie and all that stuff. So that's interesting. But Avila Pizarro being Katakuri size, that was not specified in the anime. This may be a thing that Oda's playing with right now. So Katarina Devon, she's a captain of the 6th ship leading Teach's 6th fleet. She uses a whip as a weapon, but she used a spear to kill Whitebeard. The name Crescent Moon Hunter has become feared by women all across the world. As Katarina hunts for women she finds beautiful and decapitates their heads to add them to her personal collection. She declares this as a pursuit for beauty. She's also very tall, towering over characters such as the admirals. Yeah, we saw the height difference there. Katarina Devon, Crescent Moon Hunter. This could either be a fight for Nami in the future or Carrot. I'm thinking Carrot, Crescent Moon Hunter, Carrot being a mink using the moon. One of the two in a way which it could be a double. It could be a 2-on-1, a 2v1. Nami and Carrot versus Katarina Devon. But I think, her hunting beauty, makes sense because she's ugly as fuck. Juan Wolf, he's a captain of the 7th ship leading Teach's 7th fleet. He's actually a giant, having been born in a giant village of West Blue in reality. His size for a giant is rather normal, but he's able to reach heights as tall as 180 meters through the powers of a devil fruit that increases his size, making him taller than any other humanoid on the planet. Okay, so we've always talked about a giant being a devil fruit user. Juan Wolf is a devil fruit user. This is interesting because a devil fruit to increase your size, I'm not sure what that could be. I mean, a giant having a giant fruit is just weird. It's like a giant having a fruit just to increase your size. It just seems like counterintuitive. It's just, why? Why would you even? Maybe it was a mistake. Due to his crimes, he was imprisoned and impelled down. The way he was kept there was through a gigantic cell in level 6, which you can actually see in the manga. His addition to the crew has, without a doubt, increased the strength of the Blackbeard prize by a lot. Of course, you add someone to your crew that's that big and can actually increase in size. That's a great power to have. Asco Shot, he's a captain of the 8th ship leading Teach's 8th fleet. Even among level 6 prisoners, he was incredibly infamous due to just how brutal his crimes were. He may not look like it, but he's incredibly dangerous. It's still unknown how he fights, but he used 2 large guns to finish off Whitebeard. He's known for just how much he drinks, always carrying alcohol with him. He's enormous, towering over even the likes of Katakuri. So Oda is really going for it by making these characters really, really tall. I don't understand it. It's no rhyme, method, or reason behind them being tall, because we saw characters that, like Shanks' regular size by Roger is fucking enormous. So it's not a strength thing. It's just whatever Oda decides at the time. Smoker fights to protect others with honor, especially his subordinates like Fujitora. He wishes to take down Shichibukai's system. His epithet Wild Dog comes from him always getting angry at his superiors, confirmed as an observation arm and hockey user. We figured with Smoker, a lot of things that we knew. We saw him use arm and hockey versus Virgo and others. Observation hockey, again, that's useful when it's useful. Like, use it when you use it. It works when it works. Inazuma, he's considered Ivanka's right-hand man and assists him whenever he needs it. His design was based on the colors for the crab shrimp due to the way his devil fruit turns his arms into crab-like scissors. Interesting. Inazuma is also a character I liked just because of everything he did in Impel Down. He was really dope. Even Marineford, he did some work. So I like Inazuma as a character. Nami. Bellemere found Nami and Nojiko in the kingdom of Oikot, Tokyo backwards, in the East Blue. The one we see her in a flashback. However, it doesn't specify if Nami was born there or not, only that she was found there, so feel free to speculate away. So Nami being found in the kingdom of Oikot, I don't know. As far as where Nami is born, I don't even want to speculate. Bellemere, her name is spelled Bellemere here, unlike Oda previously wrote it. Kurobi, originally he was designed to be Arlong's number 2's right-hand man. However, this detail was ultimately not mentioned in the manga. Still, he had a high bounty and was quite strong. This is really interesting because Kurobi's saying he was designed to be Arlong's number 2, his right-hand man. It's interesting because he got beaten by Sanji, and Sanji's beating right-hand mans out here. Who's a true right-hand man? All right, Sentomaru, despite having previously served as the leader of the Pacifist Squad, he officially joined the Marines around 1 year ago. In the year 1523, he's an armament and observation hockey user. We've seen the observation hockey. We've seen armament. Observation hockey, I'm not sure if we've seen that. So everyone should be able to use observation hockey and armament in a new world. Like, period. Tashigi, confirmed to have both observation, armor, and hockey. Gaimon, the ship he originally sailed on, was called the Matina. Hallelujah. Join us next month as we cover the Marineford Arc Pack and the Alabaster Saga Part 1 Pack. Awesome stuff. Shout out to Arthur. This is Volume 3. I really enjoy these because it confirms things and it kind of gives us an opportunity to kind of go through past events that we haven't talked about for a while. Again, if you really care about One Piece lore, you're going to like the Vivre cards because some of the shit I don't care about, right? But I enjoy going through it because it tells me a lot about how Oda was thinking as far as certain characters. Look at Kurobi. He was designed to be the right-hand man for Arlong. The Bellemere stuff, Nami. It's interesting information, even if you don't think it's rather important. If you care about One Piece and the lore, and just some of the characters, like you care to know more about the characters, this is always dope. So again, if you want to see this, go to the libraryofahara.com. Everything is there. Like the video, subscribe for more content like this. I will catch you guys later.